Good evening, everyone. Thanks a lot for joining us. We're not going to run through the whole intro. We're here tonight, guys. It is Tuesday night. It is Trophy Day. It is Reward Day. Sadly, FC Barcelona are not collecting anything, but Dunfermline 1885, Hendo has been out there and absolutely smashed it again. And Hendo is dying to get on and open up one of the first star tier rare cards from under 23 that I've known anyone to win. Hendo, congratulations, mate. Welcome to the stream.
Cheers, buddy. Nice to be back. Again, on the podium for U23. It's a nice feeling, mate. It's a nice feeling.
That is, man. Buzzing. And, you know, we're just getting set up before coming on. Rewards will be out in a couple of minutes, I think. It's normally 7 o'clock today, bailing that. So, you know, really looking forward to it. We're kind of looking through the prize pool and the chat and all that good stuff, looking at the team, looking at the leaderboard. So we'll get everyone who's joining us, who's going to, like, get in the sweat with us for what you're going to pull, buddy. Up to speed with the team that we ran, that you ran, and the leaderboard, how it sat, and all that good stuff. You can talk us through the highs and the lows of it. Fist bumps to everyone that is joining us live, by the way. If you're joining us after we've been live as well, fist bump to all you guys. And at any point, if you do like and enjoy yourself tonight, we're all going to be live for a short time. There's some Champions League football tonight, and a wee bit of midweek action getting kicked off for us all, I think. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and retweet, and all that good stuff, guys. And Hendo, I think we might as well just start off with the team or the leaderboard. It's the leaderboard we've got, mate. Sitting second, just a little fraction off the top, mate.
Yeah, so it was one of those weeks. I posted on Twitter earlier in the week, and I was actually fourth. So to get opted up to second is obviously really beneficial. However, there was a few things I was saying to you on Sunday night. I was sitting watching that Feyenoord-Volendam game. On the edge of my seat, Feyenoord go one down unexpectedly. And then I'm just watching Kokchu in the middle of the park. He's just pulling strings, but he's sitting so deep. I'm like, he's never going to get a decisive here. He had seven attempted assists, I think, and none of them got put in the back of the net. He slid a boy through the last minute. The defender clears him out one-on-one, and the defender gets sent off. And I'm like, it's just not going to happen. But through all that, he scored a decent enough score. Now, it turns out the person behind me actually had the super rare anyway, and I had Kokchu captain, but because of multiplier, his was slightly better. So eventually I needed the adjustment for the goalkeeper. I think he got a punch added on or something. Josh Force thought he should have had a save added on, but we'll take the punch because it's got us up to second place. And top of the table, you can see there, I think it's Fantasy Teller. Yeah. I said to you early in the game week, he had Mbappe, who scored in the 92nd minute, I think. And I said in the chat, I think that's going to end up hurting me at some point. And it's ended up costing me top place, which is a bit of a shame. But it's still a mega score. I think it's maybe my biggest score ever. And it's a mega result with the fact that the stars are really, really stars now. So, yeah, I'm buzzing, mate. I'm absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, because, like, we've been there before. Maybe not with weekends, but certainly some podiums, those stars, you were always kind of like, is it going to be a star or a tiered star, you know, kind of thing. But that's why, like, tonight, it is extra special for you because it is, like, a really refined pool. And, you know, it's extra exciting. Let's have a look at that podium. Is it you get a bit of beef up there as well? And is it one card in that prize pool, or is there two? Or what's the script? What have we got up there, Hendo?
In terms of the star pool?
Yeah, no, for like the under 23 podium, it's just money and star rare, isn't it?
Yeah, so it was star all the way down to 4, so I was always guaranteed a star, which is great. And there's only about, let's say, 12 or 13 cards in the pool, something like that. So, you know, you're guaranteed something of a decent value. But obviously with the up the way, I'm really kind of crossing my fingers to be in that kind of upper echelon. There's a few in there that would really benefit what I've got going on at the moment. And I think we've already kind of, like I said, I've already kind of spent some of the money if we end up selling the card on other bits and bobs that bring a bit more value to the rest of the gallery. So, you can tell I'm quite visibly excited. So, just obviously 7 o'clock's kind of rolled about now.
That's it, man. Well, for everyone watching, you can see there, Hendo sitting on second, 494.9 points, and the guy behind him, 494.85 points. So, an absolute whisker there.
Train your players.
Train your guys, man. And then I said, Fantasy Teller, he did take over Hendo with a decisive in the end, but even with that, it wasn't really even the decisive that was the difference. It was like 9 points or something, 11 points, very, very tight there. At the
other thing as well, you'll notice as well, like my Jonathan David super who scored a hat-trick to kick off the weekend, that was great, but he's maxed out, so even stuff like that, it's an 82.5, ends up being 107, 108 points or something like that. Makes a massive difference having cards of that value and cards of that kind of power. And all the other stuff, like this is another thing for like training. if you've not got the minutes in midweek, say for example you and I had the Celtic cards, they'd have been number one in the training list because they're going to be your power teams for the weeks that they are playing. So that's just a wee kind of tip. Look at your power players first, and then obviously build around that. And now with the SoCoins thing, you can buy extra training slots, which is quite exciting.
Yeah, for sure. Do you want to show us the team, and then we'll get to the rewards if they're there? You can just go and open them.
Yeah, let's have a look. So it should be on screen now, but let me know if it's not.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So we've got here Hendo, who, again, it was between him and Safanov. Safanov scored 33, I think. And that was my two choices, so I made the right choice there. You can see he's got 6% on him too. That was kind of by design. I think I picked up one for a little bit more expensive with higher XP, and obviously it's paid off. Kokchu, you can see there at 77 was so harsh for his score. I think he got an 8.4 on SofaScore, which usually translates to a lot higher than that. And as I said, all the attempted assists and stuff, I'm not going to go into them for now. Schlotterbeck didn't have a great game, but then scored a peach from outside the box, which was nice to see. And again, I caught that one semi-live. I seen it going in anyway after. And as I say, Jonathan David, 83 points there, but it's translated to 107.25. And then Gavardo with 100. I think he already had a decent all-round score. Just double check though.
That was mega.
Is it maybe if I scroll down here? Yeah, you see that already had 46.6 AA, which would have been a mega score anyway, and then he goes and gets a goal. So, that took us right the way over to the 100 mark. Now, there was a few other bits and bobs that I should share. I had in my under-23s team a new Marsolé, rare, which I could have played over Kokchu or Schlotterbeck, I think. In fact, no, maybe not. Maybe I could have just played over Schlotterbeck. But he scored 100. That would have had me top.
Yeah.
And I had Sievold as well, who I think he scored an 83. So if I'd had him in over Kokchu and captain him, it would have been close to top. Yep. But to be honest, with Kokchu playing Volendam at home and Schlotterbeck had Schalke away, and I think Dortmund actually had like a 59% clean sheet predicted or something, or 49%, they end up conceding 2. That's like an 18-point swing. So I think the selection choice was correct. It just sometimes doesn't work out.
Probably the last little bit of context I'd want everyone at home to share with us, Hendo, is like this team is like, see if you want to close this little tab and then flick to the team tab on the actual thing. This team is like a proper Hendo squad. So like, we were chatting in the chat earlier. You brought up the point, I'll let you tell the story, how it would be like, it would be quite poetic to win a Wirtz because, he funded a big part of this revolution of the Mbappe winning team that you had last year.
Yeah, 100%. I think the Hendo was just like a necessity buy in terms of like I had gaps with Safanov because he's in Russia. I needed another U23, and Hendo was a bit of a punt, if you remember, near the start of the season. Then he cemented his place since. Jonathan David's like long-standing. He's been here for ages, and he was part of the Mbappe win. Gavardio was basically his first big win, but that was kind of the whole point to be aiming for this because he's going to be world-class. He is world-class, and he's got the peaks in him. And then Kokchu and Schlotterbeck actually came from a trade. I won a couple of cards back-to-back in a few weeks. So it was a Marcus Edwards and a Steven Bergwijn. And whilst they're great cards and stuff, they didn't really fit what I was trying to do. So I traded them for a Wirtz midfield card. And then when Wirtz came back into the team, he hit a bit of form, but I realised I was struggling to fit him in. So what I ended up doing was trading him off just with the value that he was at. Picked up Schlotterbeck because I was struggling to get like another extra card in. And I took Kokchu because his price had dipped a little bit, and I knew that he was a big scorer historically. And then they've came in, obviously, and now Wirtz is in the pool. So, like I said, it'd be poetic if I traded Wirtz for them two and I end up winning one back. It'd be like generating him for free almost. So that's the way I kind of seen that a little bit.
Wasn't for it. Everyone, guys, as you know, Sorare own and control the internet. Before Hendo opens his reward, we need to get all that luck. We need all that energy firing through those lightning wires that come out your computer or your modem or wherever you are. Smash that like button, guys. Get into the live chat. Drop the trophy emojis, the wins, the thumbs ups, all that good stuff, the party faces. And Hendo, oh, look at that ream there. I see some different designs on some different cards.
Yeah, the one thing we were going to say, there is 2 Premier League cards in the pool. So we know that if that comes up, we know it's one of 2. However, let's not poke the bear and try and predict what's there. But like you say, there's like 61 watching, 13 likes. So get that up a little bit, and then
guys,
let's get them open. I should say as well, by the way, I've got a tier 4 under 23 to open as well. That came through, and it was like a 365 score, which is pretty high. There's a few nice things in the tier 4 pool, but as you would say, Quinny, it's a bit of a bag of jaggies. So I'll just take what I can get from that. But it's just another wee bit, and obviously the ETH as well.
ETH's always good fun. There we go. Charlie Dunbar getting us going with the trophy. That's it, guys. Come on. Likes are going up a wee bit. Let's get the luck pumped in for Hendo.
Just put a wee cheers, guys, in the chat, just for a bit of morale boosting.
That's it.
I can't see what the likes are at anymore. Yeah, I know.
If you could pick anything.
That's an interesting. Do you want to have a quick look at the pool just before we open it? So
if you can hold yourself. I was more thinking about you.
So you see here the star pool. So obviously, I think Mbappe's kind of out. Let's just say, because I don't see that. So you've got Haaland, Musiala would be great. I didn't even realise he's only 20. So that would just be mega. Wirtz, I don't know if it's his forward card or mid. If it's his mid card, yeah, I don't know if that would be great. But again, I think his value's kind of shot up since he come back because he's hit like 4 dark green scores out of the last 5, and the other one I think he was rotated out or something. Bellingham would be amazing. He's one of these like U23s that I'd love. He's one of these guys with like a ridiculously high ceiling. He's just going to be world class anywhere he goes. Vinicius, I've already got one, so that would be probably one to sell on. But again, he's still holding a pretty good value. Kvaratskhelia, that'd be amazing. Obviously, he's just the man of the moment. Saka, unreal. Schlotterbeck, and then Van de Voort. Again, I've got Schlotterbeck, so I kind of want to avoid him. Van de Voort would be great. So literally anybody in that pool is just... This is what a star pool should be. Exactly, that's what it should be.
Oh, I'm buzzing, man.
Right, we've doubled lights, Connie. What do you think?
Yeah, ready whenever you are, man. It's your water we're holding.
Okay, man. Okay. Well, that's interesting start. Oh, that's for that's for the under 23 for the tier 4. So should we open that one first?
Yeah, tier 4 under 23. Hopefully it's a prospect. Hendo, get him into that academy.
French mid
for Villa. Camera, wee boobs. Wee boobs.
I've still got his defender card.
That's so that is poetic.
I've still got his defender card.
That's all right, eh? He has just get injured, but
yeah, I know. I've got his defender card as well, so that's a bit rubbish. But he'll still sell for something. So coins, I have 1,100. Fair enough. Get the ETH in.
Have you bought any training teams yet?
I bought one. I've bought one training team. I didn't have enough. I've not got enough coins. I only had enough for one.
Somebody bought them all already, and I'm like, how have you got enough for them all? Anyway.
I think the mark not of about 17,000.
Oh, really?
Anyway, right, we've got the big one here. Big drum roll. Not really, but let's get it open. German. Mid, I think it is. Wirtz. I think that was poetic justice. That one. I just feel like it had to be. It had to be.
Big flow Wirtz, man, and that's it. Like you say, sell on the buy the dip, Hendo, sell the peak, and then go win them back.
I don't know if they're loaded in yet, but yeah, that's pretty magic. Love that. I obviously don't want to make myself sick with seeing what Top got, but we'll have a little look. So there you go, loaded in. You can see there bought a Ryan Christie as well, just for for the upcoming Scotland games. But yeah, we've got a little bit of ETH in the bag now, so excellent, nice one.
So what do we expect to see then? Wirtz, Guardiola, Joe David, and Vinny.
It's interesting because obviously I'll need to see how he fits in, but it'll be maybe towards the end of the season. I think Wirtz, because of his injury, very much expect him to be at Leverkusen next year.
Yeah. And
with a lot of kind of power cards like Veerman, for example, mid, he's aging out. You're going to have, like, Kokchu might move, and I'm well aware of that, but at the price that I got him at, then it's not really that consequential.
Yeah.
So I think it could actually be a good one to potentially slot in, but again, I'll need to see what his value is. I've not even really got a clue. I'd imagine it's came up a little bit though.
Last I seen is about 1.5.
Let's have a look. There you go. Last sale for his mid card, 2,179.
Decent. So
yeah, superb. I might take a little bit out as well. Maybe treat myself.
That's it. Go buy a car.
Done already.
Of course. Yeah. That's why that wee thing was going off in my head. So you had a few things lined up there for the midweekend. I'm not sure if we touched on them when you came out there, but I just wanted to throw out there. By the way, congratulations again on the Wirtz. Beautiful addition into the club, mate. And along with Mbappe, mate, 2 fantastic pieces you've picked up, mate, through a great bit of hustle and grind, as I kind of joked earlier, but buying guys on the down and taking them up to the peak, and you've done that like consecutively now over a good period of time, mate. It's a fucking great win.
It was hurting a little bit reviewing them though. I was going through the other day and I had an All-Star Super Rare win, and it ended up being an Eddie Segura just before he got
Ooh.
injured. And when you think about what that would probably end up being now, I think it was 0.6 ETH as well, plus the Segura, but I feel like with the rewards the way they are now, because it was quite a decent score as well, you'd be expecting so much more than that for a win.
Big
But
time.
yeah, the under 23s have been pretty great. In terms of what's coming up, you should be able to see it on screen now. Similar sort of lookout, but again, I've only got one super that I can play.
Yep.
Went for under 23. There's 282 entrants. I just want to double check what the rewards were. I think it was maybe 19, I want to say. 19 cards. Yeah, 19 cards. So you can see there. Anything in there, so that's somewhere around 8%, I think. I think that's not too bad considering there'll be a lot of teams like this that have got one super. And I think you've seen Foremost Mendy. He's not playing. Yeah, he's DMP'd, so he's not playing. And a lot of people have him captain because I assume they had a good game. So that's a lot of people taken out of that in terms of my reckoning anyway. And plus, there might be a little bit of rotation if there's a few dead rubbers and stuff like that, where I think most of the players I've got in there have got games that are actually worth something. The under 23 rare, everybody should play. But again, it's not. There's nothing guaranteed in terms of that one. I've got a couple of Shakhtar boys. We'll see how that goes. That's not much. And then the only other team, Cap 240, just going for the ETH relay, which I think you might have seen I missed out by 0.9 points at the weekend, which is a bit rough. I was in it and then I got opted out of it, but I can't complain. Opta's been my friend this weekend, so take the rough with the smooth.
Big time, man. Big time. I only managed to put the one team out for the midweek. I went for the All-Star Rare Pro, which I think you were in favour of the comments, if my memory serves me right. And Pape Cisse, playing for Amiens at the moment, isn't doing me any favours. He's not scored a goal yet, but 55th minute, they're losing 2-0 away from home. He's on 34 points, not doing much. But I managed to, I actually Pavel'd him out, Hendo. Obviously, I bought him knowing that he's 37 and 30 quid. And we, in our little chat with McBride, you know, the Wonder Kid chat that goes around some of these scouting pages had brought up Matias Arezzo, went back to Uruguay and all the rest of it. So anyway, I was thinking, oh, cool. As soon as I seen that, I seen Pavel had one. I thought, well, as soon as I get the deadline locked in, I'll just try and throw him some red X's and try and get this red X off him. And I managed to do it. So got a cool wee card in. So I'm not really worried about Cisse too much, but I'd like him to get a wee goal to give us something to cheer on for Thursday night, eh?
Yeah, definitely. He's one of these, like you said on the stream, he's boom or bust. He's going to score you 60 or 35.
Yeah, that's it, man. So we're on 35. Hopefully we get to 60, you know. But mate, as well, not to make this a game week 355 or whatever it'll be preview or whatever, mate, but I had a look at the fixtures for the weekend. I don't know if you've had a look at them yet, if you've had a chance, but there is blockbuster fixtures everywhere. I think Celtic versus Hibs is the best game of the weekend. Like, really? Yeah, like PSG play Rennes, Bayern Munich play Leverkusen, like PSV play Feyenoord or something, AZ20, Ajax someday, Sporting Lisbon don't have a game, Benfica are away to Braga, you know, Zenit are away, all sorts of crazy stuff. It's all like suboptimal everywhere, but Celtic are at home.
Celtic at home's great, but Hibs, I think, are they unbeaten in 7 or they're in really good form, so
Hibs are
that'll be an
decent enough.
interesting. But I think obviously there's been a lot of chat this week about the gulf between Celtic and Rangers with the rest of the league. They're saying it's as big as it's ever been, and I think you've seen it kind of recently. There's they trampled over Hearts basically. I think Celtic were 1-11 to qualify from that game, and that was against the third best team in the country. So that tells you a lot, really. So yeah, you might be right. And again, I've not quite looked at it just on, but
Salzburg's the other one. Salzburg are at home to Altac, Cash Point or whatever. So like they should scud them. But it's like Salzburg and Celtic are the only like at home good fixture. Like Italy is all big teams playing each other. Like Napoli, Inter. There's a few games like that going on. You know, like everywhere it's super tight.
Will you be looking at All-Star then, do you think, in terms of where you're looking to target?
Probably. I've kind of ran through it a few times, deleting stuff and whatever, but yeah, but the big team it normally is. But when I was looking at that, I was like, oh Jesus, I could probably have my way with a division if I play my cards right, you know. So and equally that goes for particularly galleries like yours, Hendo. We've just seen how eclectic your team is, you know, 5 different players from 5 different teams or whatever. You know, when you play the game that way, then the fixtures, you're maybe not quite as vulnerable to them in that sense, you know. So maybe some of the other cards I've got, maybe they're in for a better shout because last weekend they were all crap, you know. So maybe some of those guys are actually decent as well. Maybe, who knows?
Yeah, I think we kind of mentioned it briefly again. I know that we don't want the stream to go on too long, but it was more like if I'd got Haaland, I'm going to say to you, I was going to sell him for the simple fact that because of his value, I could have built such a good team out of Champion, and I don't play Champion, never have, but I'm starting to actually build just like not even consciously, just a nice little contingent. So, for example, in a game week like this, you can see in that main team there's 3 champ players: Vinny, Todibo, and Gavardio. If you add one super mid to that, and then a champion goalkeeper, even if you could maybe stack it a little bit, then you're starting to look at something that could start winning big prizes midweek. U23 tends to be competitive any week, whereas if you can get a big team that hits in the champ kind of region, then you're laughing. Especially one like Nice, for example, they're a champ team, but they've got Sheriff in the Europa League or the Conference League or whatever they're in. That should be a real steamroller of a fixture, and the reverse tie tells you that. So it's just finding little sort of nuances like that, but even still, Verts, like you said, ridiculous value. So buzzing, mate, buzzing.
And probably the last thing I would throw out there before we came on the stream tonight, the last thing I was doing in my preparation is I took a wee 10 minutes out Hendo and I watched the Y Scout report of the Copenhagen match at the weekend to see to see the boy Jordan and see what he was up to. And mate, he looked apart. Play Sharper have got him on as 40% to play at the weekend, but see when he scored, they were all buzzing for him. It was like a proper segment of them all just like, well done, man, we got the goal for you and all that and all the rest of it. So
that's useful. That's useful for us, first start and first goal in. He's built his minutes up quite a bit, and to be honest, the way that they kind of heralded the signing, I know it's a tough front line to break into, but I think he offers something different from what they've got. So I think it's his place to lose, kind of going forward, and that really benefits us. Of course, it gives us just an extra option to put in there. So yeah, that's a nice little.
He took a few corners.
Did he?
Yeah, he took a few corners. And
well,
mate, inside, mate, it was like watching Spartak Moscow again. He was coming inside and driving and stuff from starting out in the right wing. When the ball was on the left, he would just tuck in and, mate, it was brilliant. Brilliant. I was watching it like, oh, yes. And then I went and checked Play Sharper and I was like, I want to see what they have him. Because I seen they had Copenhagen and it was like, I had 40%. But I'm like, they were so buzzing for him. There's no way he's not already a kind of wee favourite in that changing room. And they're playing third at the weekend. Viborg, so it's not a great game necessarily on paper, but again, even from the bench, you maybe hope so. I'm putting him with like Charlie Mulgrew and stuff like that, and just throwing that out and seeing what happens to it. So yeah,
that team will hit eventually, mate. That team will hit.
Yeah, man, I only needed to hit once. I was actually looking yesterday, the day before, but that Mulgrew's helped me to it helped me win that Pedrinho super rare, which I sold for a few quid. And then something else kind of recently that wasn't too bad, maybe the last of Sean or something. So he's kind of helped me to some wee pieces, but yeah, I need a big 100 out of Mulgrew one day before he retires.
Perfect, sounds good. I think I recommended that buy to you, so I'll take some credit.
Let's get it, man. Hendo, mate, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. I'll let everyone get going because there's Champions League football and stuff on tonight. Hope you've had fun, guys. Congratulations again, Hendo. And I'm sure I'll see you all and we'll have Hendo back on the channel like in no time.